Once upon a time, there was an old and abandoned high school building at night. Strange sounds could be heard along with the howling of the wind among the students. Rumors circulated that this building was haunted. A group of brave high school students sneaked into this legendary building one night to see these mythical ghosts. As they walked through the corridors, they got lost among strange shadows, and suddenly doors creaked. As they roamed through the rooms, they felt a cold breeze emanating from the walls. Suddenly, an old piano started playing in a long corridor. However, no one could see the one playing the piano. As the group members looked at each other, doors began to close one after another. Trying to escape in panic, they found themselves in a room and locked the door behind them. They ended up in an old classroom filled with history textbooks. As they got lost among the books, pages started turning on their own. Between the pages of an old diary, the mysterious secrets of the building's past were revealed. As the night progressed, ghosts emerged, narrating their tragic stories to the students. However, behind each ghost, there was a quest for justice and a sense of sorrow. Before morning, the students had communicated with the ghosts and illuminated the sorrowful events of the high school's past. From that day on, the rumors that the high school was haunted were no longer just a legend. However, what happened that night gave the students a perspective on understanding the ghosts of the past and living with them in peace. Once upon a time, within the boundaries of a rural town stood an old and abandoned high school building. This structure had been closed years ago after a fire, and since then, it was shrouded in mysterious events. On the day our story begins, a group of young friends decided to explore this forgotten edifice. It was night, and the town was asleep in silence. The group pushed open the decaying door and entered quietly. As soon as they stepped inside, the air around them suddenly grew colder. The silence of the hallways was only broken by the sound of their footsteps. Mysteriously, a worn photograph appeared in the hand of Emma, the leader of the group. The photo depicted the old students and teachers of the high school. Emma's gaze fixated on a peculiar expression on the face of a student who resembled Lily, a girl who had disappeared from the same high school years ago. As the group explored the old classrooms, they began to hear strange noises, as if someone were watching them. When they entered a room, a black shadow swiftly passed by, and the door locked behind them. In a panic trying to open the door, a table in the room suddenly started shaking, and old books on it fell to the ground. As Emma examined the books in the room, she found a former student's diary. The diary recounted mysterious events in the days leading up to the high school's closure. Lily's disappearance unveiled a dark secret. That night, the school principal and a group of teachers had sacrificed Lily in a dark ritual. As the group wandered around the ghosts, the spirits of the past emerged. Lily's spirit called for help in bringing justice. As the night progressed, the group illuminated the dark past, and Lily's ghost found peace. As the sun rose, the high school building fell silent once again. The group would never forget the terrifying night they experienced. Lily's ghost had dispelled the darkness over the town, but the haunted history of the high school continued to live on in memories. Once upon a time, in a secluded corner of the town, there stood an old high school building, lost among the shadows. The history of this high school was filled with dark and mysterious events. Our story reveals the truths behind the terrifying occurrences echoing within the walls of this high school. The high school once echoed with the cheerful voices of students and the educational discussions of teachers. However, one day, a mysterious fire broke out, consuming a part of the building in flames. Following the fire, the high school had to shut down, transforming into an abandoned ghost town. As the years passed, the high school building began to be regarded as an entity in itself. At night, strange sounds echoed through its walls, window curtains rustled, and shadowy figures wandered the corridors. Yet this haunted high school drew in brave young souls. A group of high school students decided to explore this legendary building. The night was dark, and the wind carried an ominous air. They forced open the old doors and, upon entering, were immediately met with a chilling atmosphere. As they walked through the corridors, doors began to close, abruptly separating the group members. With every step the youngsters took, it felt as if the ghosts of the past were watching them. When they gathered in a room, an old piano suddenly started playing, but there was no one in the room. Eyes gleaming in the darkness indicated the presence of watching spirits in the corners. As the group uncovered old documents and journals, they revealed the dark secrets of the high school's past. The sorrowful stories of students who had once lived there weighed heavily on the shoulders of the young explorers. Ghosts approached them with desires for revenge and tales of their tragic ends. In the late hours of the night, the young explorers became lost in the dungeons of the high school. Every corridor was filled with a story narrating the ghosts of the past and the dark secrets of the high school. One room bore the trace of a student who had disappeared years ago, and the young explorers confronted the ghost of that student. In the end, as the young explorers emerged from the high school building, they would never forget the terrifying moments they had experienced. However, this ordeal provided them with an opportunity to understand and make peace with the ghosts of the past, while the abandoned high school building remained as a memory of the horrific events once unfolded. The young explorers had managed to bring peace to the spirit of the high school as they departed from this ghost town.